Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected speaker, Madam Wan Salwati Wan Salleh, respected Chief Librarian of Dar al-Hikmah Library, Madam Nur Hashimah Mustafa, and the Library Management, respective records officers from each KCD-IOM, colleagues from IIUM and other higher learning institutions, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning to all. Let us begin our program this morning with the recitation of Kitab Al-Fatihah. I am Siti Azizah binti Muhammad Noor from Dar al-Hikmah Library will be the MC for today's Knowledge Sharing and Lessons Learned Series 1, IIUM Records Disposal via Records Transfer. On behalf of Dar al-Hikmah Library, I would like to extend our warm welcome and express our gratitude to our speaker and all participants for being part of this program today. Even though we are conducting today's program online, hopefully all of us will be able to recap as many as fruitful ideas, experiences, and lessons learned regarding proper disposal of IIUM records through records transfer. Besides Zoom meeting, today's program is also being streamed live on the official IIUM Library YouTube channel. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to kick off the program, I would like to invite Madam Nur Hashimah Mustafa, the Chief Librarian of Dar al-Hikmah Library, to share her opening remarks. And the floor is yours, Madam.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to our MC, Madam Siti Azizah Muhammad Noor. Welcome to today's program, a knowledge sharing and lesson learned series. Thank you, everybody, especially when I see familiar names like Puan Siti Sumaizan and also those who are from IIUM, from various campuses, and also the outside organizations. I would like to extend a special thank you to the organizer, Knowledge Management Section, in collaboration with Archive Management Section, our speaker as well, Madam Salwati Salleh, and all participants for being here. So, a knowledge sharing and lessons learned program is crucial for organizational growth. By documenting successes, failures, and challenges from past experiences, it enables teams to avoid repeating mistakes, replicate best practices, and mitigate risk. So kalau ikut Melayu dia kata dia harapkan supaya pisang tidak berbuah dua kali lah. Okay, so this practice fosters continuous learning and organizational resilience, while sharpening future decision makings help us in increased efficiency and drive innovation across all projects and tasks. So I hope that this first series, which focus on the IIUM records disposal via records transfer, brings together individuals with shared goals and diverse perspectives for a productive and inspiring session. So record disposal is essential to ensure legal compliance, protect sensitive information, optimize storage, and operational efficiency, while at the same time it reduces organization risk and maintain effective, accountable, and well-organized records management system. So let's make most of this opportunity to learn, connect, and collaborate. And at the same time, I would like also to take this opportunity to congratulate and recognize the achievement of the library's Learning Support Section as the first office in IIUM to successfully completed the records disposal exercise in accordance with the records disposal procedures of Arkib Negara Malaysia. So I think we learned a lot from that exercise. So as a record that has successfully disposed, a sum of 131 records. This was disposed through the transfer to the Archives and Repository section, University of Malaya Library. So this accomplishment reflects a commendable commitment towards proper records management practices and compliance with the national archival requirements. So we hope this initiative will inspire and encourage other officers within IIUM to emulate the same effort, ensure that records are managed in accordance with the approved Arkib Negara Malaysia guidelines. So at the same time also, I welcome comments and suggestions from other participants online to share what you have done so far so that we can together add more knowledge to our practices. So with that note, I pray for the success of this program and its lasting benefit to our organization. And I end my words with Jazakumullah khairan al-jaza. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So over to you, Madam Azizah. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Nur Hashimah, for the opening remarks. Now, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have our speaker with us today, Madam Wan Salwati Wan Salleh, the Head of Collection Management and Preservation Section, Dar al-Hikmah Library, who will be sharing her experiences on successfully completed the records disposal exercise in accordance with the records disposal procedures of Arkib Negara Malaysia, ANM, through records transfer. Before we begin, allow me to introduce our speaker. Our speaker today is Madam Wan Salwati Wan Salleh, currently serves the head of the Collection Management and Preservation Section at Dar al-Hikmah Library, International Islamic University, Malaysia, IIUM. She holds a bachelor degree in Fiqh and Usul Fiqh from KIRKHS, IIUM, and a master in Library and Information Science from KICT, also IIUM. Madam Wan Salwati began her career as a librarian in the cataloguing department of IIUM Library in 2004. Throughout her more than 20 years of service, she has had various positions across the library, including the Digital Library Services, Research Support Section, Information Service Section, and Learning Support Section. She previously served as head of the IREC unit, head of the Languages and Information unit, and most recently as head of the Islam and Humanities Information unit before assuming her current position in 2026. She is also experienced in collection management and currently oversees procedures and initiatives related to collection management and information services at the library. Thank you, Madam Wan Salwati, for being here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I now have the distinct pleasure of respectfully inviting our guest speaker to deliver her talk. The floor is yours, Madam.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Thank you our MC today, Madam Siti Azizah Muhammad Noor, for inviting me for this session. Respected Chief Librarian of Darul Hikmah Library, Madam Nur Hashimah Mustafa, and the Library Management, respective records officers from HKCDIOM, colleagues from IIUM and other higher learning institutions, and also distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank that giving me the opportunity to share what we have done in this project lah. The project that we have successfully implemented is about the reading and disposal of University of Malaya past examination papers at M. Kamal Hassan Library. Okay, next. Okay, I would like to share with you, maybe in the case CDIOM, you just in charge of asset management disposal and also records management disposal. But in the library services, we also in charge the library resources collection lah. So the library resources reading is currently handled by the collection management and preservation section, which was effectively established in March 2026. Okay, but during the implementation project was done in 2024 and 2025. At that time, I was the coordinator for the collection management under the learning support section. So that Alhamdulillah, so this project is successfully completed. And actually, when Madam Rashidah officially announced in our meeting, so I quite shocked lah, because this one is the first project that successfully implemented according to Arkib Negara Malaysia procedure. Okay. Alright. So to share with you in the collection management and preservation section under my preview now, among the activities that we have to conduct is shelving, okay, shelf reading, collection, preservation, processing of less used books. It is referred to the old editions, multiple copies, okay, that book and books which were not borrowable for a certain period. Okay. So we also need to do the inventory project or stock taking project. So we have to compare either the books on the shelves tally with the books in in the system lah, in the library management system. Okay, and then we also in charge of updating the Smart City Directory. Okay, the Smart City Directory is only available in M. Kamal Hassan Library lah, or Gombak Campus Library, where the users can easily locate the books on the shelf lah. So they just enter the call number. So the system will will mention which shelf that the book is available. Okay, and the last part is we also in charge of reading. Okay, so this is one of the activities conducted by the collection and management and preservation section. Okay. Reading, according to the library services, is the systematic evaluation and removal of outdated, damaged, duplicated, irrelevant, and underutilized materials from a library collection to maintain its quality, accuracy, relevance, and usefulness to users lah. So, in the library, we have the library resources reading guidelines. Okay. So to develop this library resources reading guideline, we have to refer to the collection development and management policy under the library, policy of IIUM asset management, which is available in the finance division. So we refer to the policy number 7, asset disposal, and also we have to we also refer to retention and disposal of records procedure lah. This is under archive management section. Okay, next. Alright, just to share with you about the weeding and disposal in the library lah. Maybe some of you did not familiar with the library terms and library services lah. So the weeding, the definition of weeding in the library services is the process of evaluating, removing the outdated, damages, unused or irrelevant materials from a library collection. Okay. So we are now the IIM now is 40 years, 43 years. Okay, so of course our collections, some of our collections are outdated. Okay, maybe some of our collections are damaged or irrelevant anymore to our curriculum. Okay, so the purpose for the weeding process is to keep the library collection current, useful, attractive, and relevant to users' needs. Okay, so if we want our students to come to the library, so we have to make sure lah our collections must be relevant to them and also up to date. And then, for example, removing old textbooks, worn-out books, duplicate copies, or books with outdated information. Okay. For the term disposal is the final handling or discarding of materials that have been removed from the library collection after reading lah. So after we refer to you can refer to the picture. So the weeding selection is the process of taking check the collections lah, either it is relevant or not. So we put in the some place and make evaluation before we dispose. Okay. The purpose of the disposal is to properly manage the withdrawn the materials and free up space in the library. So to do the disposal process, we cannot simply dispose the library collections according to our own way lah. That's why we have to refer to the finance division policy, which is policy of IIUM asset management lah. So we have to check if this according to, because disposal is must be according to the material itself. So we just check again and again on what way we have to dispose the material. For example, the disposal can be done through recycling damaged books, okay, donating old books, okay, maybe some of our books is can be referred to other university, or maybe some of the, you know that we have lots of Islamic books that can be donated to the other institutions like Tafiz, sekolah, school. We can also sell it withdrawn items or permanently discarding unusable material. For example, if the books are severely damaged, okay, severely damaged, so everybody can't anymore use the books lah. So we can just discard. Okay, all right, next. Okay, just to share with you what is the purposes of the library, within library resources in the library. Okay, first, we can keep the collection current and relevant, remove outdated and accurate materials, allocate space for new resources, and make a space to enhance learning, creativity, and collaboration. Okay, I would like to share with you currently, students, they want to come to the library to find for the place to have a discussion, to have to do their project. So maybe some of our collections are not relevant anymore. So we can discard the collection and we can provide a more space to them lah. So by doing the within library resources, we can improve our collections by updating the resources, and it can improve user access and discoverability. Of course, the within is also helps us to enhance the overall quality of the collections. Okay. Right. According to the library resources reading guidelines, some main criteria for reading for the library resources, the resources is outdated content lah, like materials is obsolete information, okay. The physical condition, you know that during the, we found that some of our collections also already damaged, affected by fungus, torn or moldy items that are no longer usable, low or no use safe. Okay, can refer to the borrowing records. So we found that the books are not borrowable for a certain time. Okay, so that once we assume that we just put aside, and then we just usually we put under the less used collection lah, and then we can decide lah, either we want to dispose, we want to read it or not. Okay. And the collections, the relevant to the collections refer to the materials that are no longer aligned with the library mission, curriculum, or other users' needs. Maybe the collection is not anymore referred to our faculties, so we can just read the collection. Okay. Duplication, excess copies that are unnecessary unless required for high demand. Okay, I can give example for this duplication. Before this, for the course reading list, the library can purchase 10 copies of book. Okay, there is a policy under collection diploma policy. So the library can purchase for one subject for 10 copies of books. Okay. When for the current situation, maybe the what we call as the for example, for the additional book, okay, other editions, so maybe they have the new editions. Okay, the new editions. So students will refer to the latest edition. Okay, so for the first edition, second edition is no longer referred to at our students. So we can just remove, we can wait lah. So that the space can be used for the new books. Okay. So accuracy and authority refer to the materials with incorrect, misleading or outdated facts. Okay, sometimes we receive a book donation that is, that is not what we call as macam tak sesuai untuk to included in our collections. Okay, and the format also obsolete lah. For example, we have outdated media formats that are hard to access, like VHS, tape or floppy disk lah. You know that currently students they are more refer to the video, YouTube, right? So we have a lots of multimedia materials that still available in our collection. Okay, next. This is the workflow that is available in our library resources reading guideline. Okay, so to Alhamdulillah, using this workflow, it really helps us in the learning support section to implement this project. So we know where to start. We know who is the person to start the project. We know who is the person that we can discuss. Okay, so okay, just to share with you lah. For the library resources, within in the library, so the learning support session or the owner of the collection can identify the collection to it lah. So we just prepare the materials, alright, and then we prepare materials with the list. Okay, and then I am the head of that's one is the coordinator for the collection management. I will fill up the reading form. We have a library reading form. And then I will forward to, we have in the library, we have the coordinator library reading committee, which is Madam Siti. Okay, so the library reading committee will evaluate the collections according to the list. Either we want to read it or not. So they can decide lah which titles should be read, which title should still relevant in the collection. So after the decision was made, so the books which what we call which are agreed to be read, so we can process to the preparing the proposal. And the book which is not suitable for reading, maybe they still can refer to the book whatsoever. So we will reshelve again the book lah. So after the evaluation process was done, so we will prepare the proposal. Okay. For preparing a proposal, we have to know what is the relevant authority to approve. Is it incur budget? Because you know that the library resources incur price valuation. So we have to follow all the flows lah. So this is the workflow. Okay. And next. Alright. So sharing what we have done for the successful of the project is the project title, the reading and disposal of University Malaya past examination papers at M. Kamal Hassan Library. Okay. Actually, this project is according to the roof leaking, roof upgrading project at level 4. So we have to make the space for level 4 is empty. Okay. So at that time, library management decided to relocate the serious collection because level 4 consists of the general collection and also serious collection. So we have to relocate all this collection to other level. So we have decided lah. So the serious collection, we agreed to relocate it at the level 3 lah, at our multimedia collections. Alright. So during the relocation project of the serious collection, we found that 130 bound volumes of University Malaya past examination papers were identified and accessed obsolete, of course, because the University Malaya examination paper is not referred to our student lah. I was informed, I asked the management, how we got this what you call as the collection, or maybe during the establishment of the library, so they give us as a donation lah. All right. So as part of the weeding process, so we identified that UM Library was consulted and requested to receive the materials as they did not have copies of the collection. Okay, so it's their collection, but they don't have the collection. So following management approval, the examination papers were transferred to UM Library. Okay, this project supported the library's collection development policy by maintaining a relevant, accessible and space collection lah. So I would like to share with you the snapshot of our series collection. Maybe some of you did not yet come to the library and go to level 4. This is the actually this one is like our series collections consists of journals, okay, magazines, official publications, okay, past examination papers, which is IIUM past examination, including this UM examination papers lah. For this UM examination papers, it occupied for 2 rows, okay, for 2 rows and for 2 base lah, the quite high space lah, because it was bound in the bound journal like that lah. So this is the snapshot of that. Okay, next. Alright. So the summary of the project, okay, you know, to do the weeding and disposal, we have to know the process workflow. Okay, so starting with the breeding project, so we identify the collection. Okay, so our collection to weed is UM past examination papers. Okay, we have to identify why we should weed this collection. So of course, the first reason is this collection is obsolete, and of course it is not aligned with the IIM curriculum. Okay, and then the other reason is we can create more space for new resources and library make a space. Okay, we know we identified the collection to weed, but we have to know how to weed and what where the disposal must be through what. Okay, so we just identify that this collection can be disposed to transfer to UM Library. So it's very easy for us lah to do the weeding process, so because we know already the way how to dispose this collection. Okay, so during the implementation project, so this is the list, the prepare materials and the list, prepare a proposal and get approval. So we submit the approved proposal to the Akib Negara Malaysia, prepare the materials to be disposed to UM Library, and submit the list to be deleted in the LMS. Okay, Library Management System. Okay, dan LMS is referred to the Library Management System because all of these titles or the collections are available in our library catalogue, right? Okay, for the disposal part, so we transfer the materials to the Akib Unit Akib University Malaya Library. Okay, and then record must be deleted in the LMS and the completed form submitted to the Akib Negara Malaysia for the record. What record? This is the summary of the completed project lah. Alright, next. Okay, I would like to share with you lah, means the process what we have done lah. Okay, the first part, the learning support section. Okay, because that during that time, I'm in the learning support section. So prepare the list of the UM past examination papers from the shelves. So we relocate the materials to a specific location. Remember that during the relocation project, we have to relocate all the series collection to level 3. So we just put aside these collections on the trolley. So it's easy for us lah to make the list and also to do the next process lah. So this is the snapshot of the list that our staff provided. The list is prepared by Brother Razman. Brother Razman is our SLA, Senior Library Assistant, who's in charge of weeding in the collection management lah. Alright, then after we have prepared the list and prepared the materials, so I fill out the weeding form for library resources and conduct an evaluation of the materials by the library weeding committee. So we cannot simply dispose this one as according to the workflow. So the library weeding committee will check, we evaluate the collection first. Okay. This UM examination papers, of course, it is obsolete. Now the reason, the valid reason is obsolete and not aligned with our collection. But if, for example, for the other collections like books, okay, because books, monograph, and also maybe the proceedings involve specialized subjects. Okay, maybe I'm not, because my background is fake. My background is library science. So if the books in other subjects like economics, law, I do not know is there the books are still relevant or not. So the library within committee will invite academicians lah or subject specialized to evaluate again the material. So we still need for the academician to help us to identify either the books are still relevant or not to our collections lah. Alright. So this is the snapshot of the reading form. Alright, if you look at this reading form, the part one, the first part is our particulars. So we just give the reason, and then the second part, the part two, is the decision by the reading committee lah. So either they can the recommended or not recommended, and in what way the disposal must be done, like discard, donate, whatsoever lah. So I just close that one. Okay, next. Alright. So now, after we have prepared the materials, the library committee reading committee has agreed what we have filled out the form. So it's now turn to prepare a proposal. Okay. So this is the outline for my proposal at the time. Like I have to do the objective, the background, the purpose for reading, the financial implication, the total number and price, and disposal method, promotional tools, the risk factor, benefit, impact or justification, and recommendation lah. Yes, Alhamdulillah, the AI, using AI is really helpful to help me in preparing this proposal. I just draft the outline. Okay, I just draft the outline in the Microsoft Word. Alright, I put my point. Okay, and that the AI helped me to draft the proposal lah, and then we just check again the content whatsoever. Okay, and then after that, after the proposal have finished, I just submit to my head of section lah, because I have I have a head of section, and then reviewed by head of department lah. Actually our library reading coordinator is our head of department lah, Madam Siti, and then the review proposal we submit to the chief librarian for approval. Okay, for your information, because this past examination papers is the gift and the total price is 0, so the approval authority is only through the chief librarian. Right, so this is the right one is the snapshot of the proposal that we have submitted to the chief librarian. Okay, appendix with the reading form for the library resources and the list of materials and asset disposal form IIUM AM15, that is from the asset management policy lah. So we have to fill out also the form that is available in the asset management policy. Right, next. Okay, next, after the proposal was approved, okay, so I just emailed to Madam Rashida from our at that time archive unit, okay. So I just email to her that this proposal has been done, the proposal has been approved. So what should we do next? Okay. So Madam Rashida just forward to me the relevant form. Okay. You know that when you refer to the Arkib Negara's form, there is numbers of form that you have to identify which form is relevant to your collections, right? So Madam Rashida just email to me the relevant form, so I just fill up the form lah. So the form borang permohonan bagi pelupusan rekod terbitan dan bahan bercetak yang tidak dinyatakan dalam jadual pelupusan rekod Arkib 908, right? Okay, so at that time the records and disposal was in charge by Arkib unit, but currently known as archive management section lah. So apa ni, we have because this one, the archive management section is quite a big process lah. That's why they have changed to unit to the section lah. Alright. But unfortunately, the form is okay, right? But we mistakenly filling the measurement of the what we call as the materials, okay? Because Madam Rashida at that time share with me the sample from the clinic. I think that time she received two types of request lah. So masa at that time we just follow lah the measurement of the materials tu, because we measure according to the files of the record management, right? So because maybe the KCDIOM records, they are in the file, right? So we just follow that one lah. But when Madam Rashida submit to the Akib Negara Malaysia, so they have to return back to us. So the measurement is mistake. So actually we go back to the Panduan Pelupusan Rekod Awam Akib Negara Malaysia, refer to the page 62 and 65. Actually because the exam papers is bound in the journal and it was in a bundle. Bundle we put in the tape, the bundle with rope lah. So this is the correct measurement for the bound journals, or maybe the book also we can refer to this. So we have to redo the submission. Luckily it is only 131 titles, and you know that the bound journals or the bound examination papers is the same, is like similar. So we just fill up again and submit to Madam Rashidah again lah. So this is the completed form. Alright. Okay, next. Alright. And then after that, the archive unit, Madam Rashidah submit a request to Arkib Negara Malaysia with the related documents and appendices that we submit lah. Okay, if we refer to this email, okay, we can identify there are two types of form, right? Borang permohonan pelupusan rekod, borang Arkib 208 and also borang Arkib 908. So I know lah, borang Arkib 908 it's our form. Okay, it is for the printed collections, or maybe the other one is for IIUM Health and Wellness Center, IHWC. Because Madam Rashida also CC to me, I can check, I can view lah the attachment. Okay, so just to share with you, every transaction is through email, because it is very important for us lah to keep track and also to record all the activities lah. And then I think after 2 times follow up, because according to the flow, the result to get the approval is within 6 months. Okay, according to the flow. So but you know that I just get update lah with Madam Rashida. What is the reason, whatsoever. So so Madam Rashidah received approval from the Arkib Negara Malaysia. So we have to fill up borang penetapan pemusnahan rekod awam Arkib 1208, and we have to return to the Arkib Negara Malaysia within 3 months. Okay, so once you got the approval, because you have to dispose, and then all of the result means kalau macam like this examination papers, it's easy lah for me it's easy, because the disposal is just transfer to the UM library. But if you dispose the books, for example, okay, after this we are going to read a book, for example, so we have to identify either we want to sell or we want to donate, whatsoever. So every transaction Kalau kita macam contoh, kalau if we want to sell, we have to get a receipt. Means the evidence must be documented. So macam within 6 months, we have to plan lah. Within 6 months, within 3 months tu, we have to complete the process. Macam this IIUM exam papers is very easy lah, because just after we transfer, it's done macam tu. Okay, so this is a snapshot of the approval letter. Right, next. Okay, then at the same time, so after we got the approval, okay, so I prepare a letter for the return to the materials to the UM library lah. Luckily, Madam Rashidah already have the contact person. Okay, maybe in her circle, right? In her circle as archive librarian. So she informed me, okay, one, you can contact this Madam Siti Mawarni Salim. From Unit Akib Perpustakaan Universiti Melaya. So she gave me already the contact person. So I just contact Madam Siti Mawani. I just ask her, okay, macam mana saya nak buat ni, saya nak hantar kepada siapa. So Madam Siti Mawani guide me. Okay, so I prepare the letter lah. I prepare the letter to the UM library, and it was checked and signed by the chief librarian. Alright, and at the same time, we prepare the materials for the submission to UM library lah. So this is the snapshot of the what we call the photos of the new UM that we put in the box lah, in the boxes. Okay, so we plan to submit to UM library on, kita ada tarikh dia lah, right, 30 Jun, 30th June, okay, 2025, and I book the because this one is only little lah, so we can just use our transport. Okay, we can just use our transport for delivery process. Okay, next. Alright, Alhamdulillah, on 30th June, okay, materials are successfully submitted to the Unit Akib Perpustakaan Universiti Malaya. Okay, this is the next snapshot. Puan Siti Mawarni is on the left side lah. At that time, I was on leave. Kalau tak, saya pun join sekali. Right? So, just to share with you lah. Brother Azman, who is in yellow, yellow coat, that is the person who's our SLA that in charge of this, that helped me a lot lah to for the prepare the material, prepare the list. Alright? Okay, and then we we receive an acknowledgement letter from UM Library, and then an official response was subsequently issued by the chief librarian lah. So after we receive a subsequent letter, so I forward to the chief librarian, Madam Yusrina. So I just inform Madam Yus, can you give a letter of acknowledgement and thank you for the Ketua Pustakawan in UM. So Madam Yusrina also official letter lah. So kita balas-balas tu kan. Okay. So next. Alright. So at the same time, I also submit a request to delete the record. Remember that this collection is available in our library catalogue, right? So I submit the request to the Knowledge Management, Knowledge Resources Development Section, KRDS, under Catalogy section, and I attach together the approval letter from Archive Negara Malaysia and the list of materials lah. So they cannot simply delete the record because you know that is our record lah, and then so that's why I attach the approval letter. So the list of the materials, so they can do the deletion process. And then after that, I receive acknowledgement letter, record deleted, and the LMS. Also after that, the titles is no more searchable in the library catalogue. Right? Okay, next. Alright. Okay, the last part. Okay, remember that after the process finish, we have to return back to the Archive Negara Malaysia within 3 months. So within 3 months, right? So the last part is Madam Madam Rashidah already share with me the form. So I just fill up the borang penetapan pemusnahan rekod awam Archive 1208, and I forward to Madam Rashidah, and she forwarded to borang Archive to Archive Negara Malaysia lah, and this one, and the evidences that means we have completed process is the acknowledgement letter from the unit Arkib Perpustakaan Universiti Malaya. Okay, so this is the evidence lah that we have completed the process. Okay, so the snapshot is the my email to Madam Rashidah lah. Okay, very nice. Next. Alright. So the last one is after the process, I have completed the process. Of course, I have to prepare the reports lah for the library top management and for our record keeping. So this is the snapshot of my report. Okay, the report consists of introduction, chronology of actions. Here I just list down the activities. Okay, the day and the activities, and every activities attached with the appendixes lah. So this is the list of appendixes. And then I just put the recommendation and the conclusion in the report. So the reports can be, insyaAllah, the reports can be easily referred by our library staff lah. Okay, alright, next. Okay, through my experience as to do this reading and disposal process in the library, okay, what went well, alright? So I would like to share during, even though it is a small effort from us, okay, the project was completed smoothly due to the first adherence to the library resources within guidelines, because we have the guideline, alright. So through the guideline, I read through the workflow, so I know what to do from start to end. Okay, so but at the meantime, we can also still refer lah. We refer again. Is it the correct way? Is it the correct person? Whatsoever lah. Alright. So which provided clear procedures for material preparation, proposal development, and approval process lah. Alright. And then early identification of the Perpustakaan Universiti Malaya as the recipient. Enabling efficient preparation of materials and supporting documentation. Yes, it really helped me about the disposal process. You know that even in preparing the proposal, we have to identify the where to dispose, how to dispose. Okay, so in this part, I know already. We just transfer to UM library. Okay, where can we contact? So it's easy for me to prepare the proposal itself. Okay. And then strong cooperation among staff at all levels, subordinates, colleagues and supervisors throughout the project from preparation to record deletion. Okay, you need that identify the collection. So I need the staff to take out the collections from the shelf, to put to relocate on the specific place, and then to prepare the list. Okay, and then I have to submit to the library within committee for evaluation. We have to know who should approve this what we call as the proposal, and then I have to refer to ask my supervisors like HOD, HOS, HOD, and also the chief librarian. And then I have to submit to the archive unit. Okay, and then so everything I cannot do it alone. So it's very good cooperation among the staff lah. That is actually we work together until the deletion of the records in the library. Alright. So the last one is effective networking and identification of the person in charge for each process, which expedite the coordination and decision making. Yes. For example, there is a various steps in the process. So I can refer, okay, kalau nak tengok yang ni, nak jumpa siapa. Even though Madam Rashidah herself lah, dia pun macam banyak lah. Macam, you know that when you refer to Arkib Negara form, there is number, if I don't mistake, we have 12 forms. Okay, so she really helped us lah to identify which form, which part that you can improve. That's one lah. Okay. Okay, what went wrong? I think for me, during this implementation project, otherwise went well. So we can improve our understanding of Arkib Negara Malaysia documentation standards and disposal procedures through practical experience. As I shared with you lah, the most what we call as the most mistaken part that we have done is the measurement itself. No? Because the measurement that we follow is for files, for records file, but the book is different, so we have to redo again. No? So it will take another effort from our staff, and we have to check it again. Right? Okay, next. Okay, how it has been improved. For me as the head coordinator for the collection management, so I just identify lah. I have informed Madam Siti Hawa Darus, the coordinator of library within committee. So, Madam, we can improve by this project. We can improve this one lah, especially in updating the library resources within guidelines. Okay, for example, we can update the workflows. Okay, we identify, okay, this form, macam you know that every materials, because the library resources within guidelines is not only for reading book, but we also have another materials like because multimedia, we have numbers of collection lah. So different form, maybe we can use different materials. We have to use different form. So we can identify lah. Okay, this collection, what is the form whatsoever lah. And then the latest process in the library management system, for example, changing the status of each item in the library catalog. Okay. When we select the collections or the title to read, actually we have to update each titles in the library management system. Okay, so for example, from available to reading. Okay, and actually our on all the library resource reading guidelines. The process is using our Symphony lah, our old system that we have migrated to Koha. So we have to update lah our workflow. So the process must be according to the Koha, or the new LMS that we are using now lah. And then the updating the relevant forms required by the policy of IIUM Asset Management and Akib Negara Malaysia lah. So we study the IUM Asset Management, the policy number 7 tu. So we check back the requirement, especially in preparing the list of the materials. Okay, so next. Alright, so the first one, what is the major changes that we have done is we have update the reading form for library resources lah. Like the former form, if you look at the left one is the reading is according to the every title. So every book we have to put the sheet. So we know that okay, this book is for reading, but to expedite the process, we change to the by collection. Okay, so we change to the form by the collection lah. So the attachment is the list, so we can use only one form. So it will save the printed form lah. Okay, and then the staff did not need to fill up every form, every title, so they don't have to fill up every paper, so every form. So it really save the paper printed lah. Okay. Okay, next one. Okay, so the other major changes that we learn from this exercise. Okay, we have update our reading list of materials. This like I've shared with you, this is the list of the materials that we submitted during this project. But when we refer back to the asset management disposal, there are some, okay, you know that because of the UM exam papers is what we call as the gift, but we have to think to wait for another collections. So the first one is the sample for the other project, actually for other collections lah. But when we refer back to the asset management disposal policy, actually they have their own form. They have their own format. Okay, so we just update our form according to the asset management disposal policy format. Okay, for example, for intention, our library resources, it consists of books that is donated or gift. Okay, and then purchase. So we have to differentiate between the books or journals that is we acquired by the gift, because the gift, of course, it did not incur for the budget lah. And then if the books or journals by purchase, we have to identify the budget. Okay, because we have to find for the price estimated. Okay, and then in the form also, we already remark for the library reading committee. The reason the decision from the library reading committee, and the last part is the method of disposal. So everything is in the form, so we don't have to identify which one to dispose, which one to scrap, which one to donate lah. So this is the really help us lah to easily means prepare the list of the materials actually. All right, next. Okay, what's next? Of course, you know that our library, our IIUM is 43 years already, right? So this is the first time we have with our collections successfully. So there is a lot of things to do lah for the library space, make a project. Oh no, you know that our students currently, they preferably refer to the PDF, e-textbook. Okay, sometimes they come to the library to find a space. Okay, so the library should optimize not only a place to access information resources, but also as a dynamic learning and community hub. Here, for example, I just list down the 5 key spaces that can be incorporated lah. So for the library services, we can provide more collaborative learning space like group discussion and teamwork area. Okay, so we can the student also request for the quiet study space. Okay, some of them dia sekarang dia berbeza tau. Ada students tu they want the discussion. Sometimes during the examination period, the general area tu is like a market. Bom. That some of the students tu they want I want a privacy, so they need a quiet study space. So that's why allocation of space is really relevant to them lah. Alright, so we can also provide the digital learning space, access to computers, internet and digital resources, because students now they are looking for the e-books, e-journals and e-thesis lah. There are some of our students complains that they can access Wi-Fi in the in the hostel, so they just come to the library to access the Wi-Fi and to access our online databases and the books and thesis as well lah. And then we can also provide the training and event space. For example, if you are looking for the workshop, seminars and learning activities lah. Alright, and then of course we can have a library as a social and relaxation space. Okay, now people are stressed. I think students are stressed and staff also stressed. So you can just come to the library to find for a comfortable area for networking. Okay, informal learning and relaxation. Maybe after we have removed some of our collection by doing this reading and disposal project, we can have lots of space allocation lah for all of this activity lah. So our project next is to with severely damaged books and serious collection. For example, the printed journals, law reports, law journals, and then of course we will remove our outdated collection. For example, the books are old edition. For example, currently the students will refer to the 11 edition. We still keep the books from first edition until 9 or 8 edition lah. So you know that the edition book, so this no more relevant to them lah, so we can just remove them lah. Alright, and then all official publications. Okay, at the serious collection we have numbers of prospectus, annual report, statistic that is no more relevant lah, because today our clients can access it online. They can just Google on every of the government's information through the website. Okay, next. Alright, as the conclusion, okay, the library reading and disposal activities should be conducted regularly to ensure that collections remain relevant and meet users' academic and research need lah. Okay, in the as my recommendation lah, as the first person who handle this reading and disposal project, So for me, provide guidelines and workflows will expedite the weeding and disposal process and ensure consistency in collection management lah. So we know what is the step that we should follow, and then of course the regular weeding ensures the collection remain relevant, up to date and aligned with users' need. As the weeding process involve book price valuation for approval the relevant authority lah. Managing it internally within the library would save time. Okay, this is referred to the approval authority because in the asset management policy they has mentioned about the approval authority. For example, for the chief librarian, she may like today current is Madam Nur Hashimah, so she can make approval the price, the valuable price is below 10k lah. Okay, below 10k of the book price, and also the gift, because the gift not incur cost lah. So the process of getting the approval is very crucial and will take what we call as will take much time lah, because once the proposal was approved, so we can start with the filling up the Akib Negara form whatsoever, and then that's one after that part you can just refer to the Akib management section. So then can help us to identify the form whatsoever lah. Alright. Removal of outdated, duplicated, damaged and underused materials, improve collection quality and optimize library space, including areas such as the library maker space lah. Macam tengok, we look at the image at the side lah. Maybe macam ni dah nasyid team. Okay, after they have, maybe they want to discuss about nasyid. We want to discuss about what's next. So other than they use office space, we can provide the space for them lah to have a discussion lah. And you know that at the back of the, actually this is image generated from the AI, but I use my own prompt lah. Just provide me what is the I use my own prompt. So this is the image generated by AI. You know that at the back one. So some library like UTHM library, they provided the space for the students. They can their creativity. Yeah, they can do their creativity. And then in UTHM library, they also provide the space that students can do exercise at the games. So I know that students currently they need for that lah. So maybe insyaAllah after we have do evaluation our library collections for reading whatsoever, we can have more space for that lah. And then of course lah, but last but not least, strong collaboration among library staff is essential for an efficient reading and disposal process. You cannot do it yourself, right? You cannot do it yourself. For me, for example, as the coordinator of the project, I cannot do it myself. Okay, so AI of course lah will help us to expedite, to miss the think about the proposal whatsoever lah, but you have to depend to other person as well lah, right? Okay, next. Okay, I would like to share with you, you know that the library under collection archive management section is in charge of this lah. Okay, so you can refer for all the information. You can refer to Dar al-Hikmah library website. Alright, so you can just go to the services. Again, just go down, go to the retention and disposal of records lah. Okay, next, the all information. Okay, next. Alright, the all information is available in the poster itself lah. Okay, and all the form, mean the whole process lah. Alright, so and the forms, like the form that I have mentioned, you just can scan the QR code, which they share with you the drive. Okay, all the forms are there, including the record procedure of record and disposal tadi tu ada dalam tu. So you can also, if you just susah sangat, you contact je lah Madam Rashidah, Madam Farah, and in Kuantan campus we have Madam Rashidah. We are willing to help you to do this reading and disposal records and also the library resources as well lah. Alright, okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Wan Salwati. Once again, thank you very much, Madam, for your valuable insights throughout today's program. It's been enlightening to hear your experiences successfully disposing of IIUM records through records transfer. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now open the floor for questions from our participants. If you'd like to ask any question, please feel free to unmute yourself and you can type your question in the chat box and I will read it out for you. And I can see from our Zoom now we have one question from Mr. Zainul Ibrahim. The question, Madam, the question is, can the weeding workflow be applied to the disposal of examination papers of center or kuliah? I believe Mr. Zainul from CFS Gambang. Yes, please, Madam.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Zainal, from the question. As the library reading resource guidelines is applicable for the library, so for me lah, for my opinion, you can just refer back to asset management disposal, as apa ni, policy number 7 as I mentioned. So you can discuss with them lah, either actually this guideline is applicable for the library services lah, but for own KCDIOM you can develop your own reading guidelines, and you can, but to develop these guidelines you have to refer again to the asset management disposal from, as mentioned in IIUM asset management policy lah. Alright, actually we also have the IIUM and papers to read. Okay, the collection is take about, I think, quarter of the apa di shelf lah, at level 4 lah, macam tak silap saya dalam 1000 lah. So I just inform that for Madam Siti Hawa, okay, boleh read dah ni masa relocation tu. So we just put aside and we just identify lah, we already identified the collection, that the first copy we can put it under archive, because some of the IUM and papers is we got for extra copies, like 2 or 3 copies lah. So we just put aside for 1 copy, and then the rest of the copy we just put in one box lah. But Madam Rashida informed me that for the exam papers you have to hold first, because they have another, macam dia kata, macam ada another way, but it related to the MSD policy whatsoever. So we just hold that one. We just hold that one until we got confirmation from Madam Rashida. About Madam Rashida, because it macam they have the kaitan lah, macam dia MSD juga. Jadi at that one for IMS papers we just hold that one until we got confirmation from Madam Rashida. Okay, so anything the guidelines, I think you can develop your own guideline. Okay, you have to develop your, sebab our collection is for you, your collection is different. Okay, but still you have to refer to asset management policy. Like for us, we contact Sister Aida. We have several discussion also with Sister Aida and Sister Madam Aida and Madam Rozana from asset development policy lah. Macam Madam Aida pun ada inform kita lah. Actually ni dah first time kita maksudnya macam exam papers ni dia tak ada masalah sebab dia tak ada price. Okay, so kita just kita tahu dia nak transfer senang, terus je sampai. Tapi bila when we are now in reading processing for books, okay, number of law journals, law report whatsoever, macam collection kita pun dah banyak dah effect dengan fungus lah semua. So macam dia macam tersangkut sebab kita kena cari disposal method tu. Maksudnya Kalau nak jual ke, nak discard ke, macam tu. So anything you just can refer back to Madam asset management policy lah. But for me, I would like to advise that every KCD IIUM have their own within resource, bukan like sebab dah biasa dengan library within resources tu kan, mungkin management disposal apa benda lah, macam tu, macam tu. So that is my opinion lah, right?
Okay, thank you, Madam Wan Salwati, for the response. Mr. Zaino, if you need more clarification on this, kindly refer to the what we call it, disposal officer at the kuliah, or you can also refer to the library team as well, because we already have one experience in this disposal. Okay, we have some more question here. All right. We have from Madam Yusrina Abu Bakar, our former chief librarian. Is the library resources reading guidelines ready? If yes, can we find it in the library website? That is the first question. And the second question from Madam Yusrina, what are other types of disposal other than transfer, destruction, deletion? Does all this incur additional cost to the agency? Okay, Madam Wan Salwati, maybe you can.
Okay, thank you, Madam Yusrina, our former chief librarian. Okay, just for your information, our currently the library with resources guidelines, we can access it through our library website lah. You can refer to the procedures and guidelines. So this library reading resources guidelines is available under collection management procedure by CCSD. Okay, it is part means one of the reference to the collection management procedure lah. But we are, as I mentioned lah, currently we are still updating the guidelines. Okay, because so we still updating the guidelines, because when we refer back to asset management disposal, several times after meeting discussion, there are some information that we have to update. Okay, we have to update, we have to clarify, but still in the what we call is updating process. Okay, and then what are other types of disposal other than transfer? Okay, if you refer back to the asset management policy, policy number 7, they have mentioned already there are another types of disposal like transfer, sale, what we call as the scrap, whatever lah. Okay, does incur additional cost? Okay, yes. For example, for my part, I just transfer to UL library and it involves only 70 boxes, right? So alhamdulillah we managed to bring it using our Innova lah. Okay, so it just minyak dengan tu sajalah kan. But if you want to, for example, you want to sell, of course you have to find the vendor. Okay, the vendor. If you find the vendor, you have to find the quotation, right? When you during the prepare your proposal itself, you have to check the vendor. For example, so siapa ada tak vendor yang nak angkut, nak beli barang tu? Okay, for example, kalau kata you nak jual, berapa duit yang you akan dapat semua, all the transaction must be what we call as must be recorded lah. Okay, like I know that Madam Lucina is currently handling the weeding of our microform, okay, microfilm and microfiche. Alright, for that one, there is no involved in price and evaluation, because as mentioned by asset management disposal, this one is not what we call as kita kata tidak not categorized as asset lah, because this one is categorized under inventory. But to dispose the microform, you have to the library have to incur cost in terms of to find the vendor to dispose these materials, because you know that our microform and microform, which is microfilm, and microfiche is consists of the materials. The materials. So we need expertise to handle this one. So that's why maybe incur cost lah. So the library have to think lah. Okay, for the approval process, I think it's easy because it one will be under the authority of chief librarian, right? Because there is no price incur on this. But to dispose that, the library might find the to find the apa ni what you call as the budget lah to hire the vendor to dispose that one. Okay, we cannot, the staff cannot simply dispose that one because it involve the chemical whatsoever. Right.
Okay, thank you, Madam Wan, for the answers. Okay, from the Zoom, we have no more question. And I also was informed that from YouTube also we don't have any question. So I think this is the end of the program. Thank you very much for the engaging questions just now, and I hope you found the answers insightful. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude, we'd love to take a group photo to capture this moment as our sweet memories. Please turn on your camera for the group photo session. And for those who attending this session, kindly fill in the evaluation form. And for the IIUM staff members, kindly record your attendance so that you can get the point, CTD point. Okay, we take photos for the first page first. Okay, next, second page. Okay, next, photo for the third page. Followed by fourth page. And next, fifth page. And sixth page. Okay, Alhamdulillah, done the group photo. Thank you very much everyone for turning on your camera. Okay, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation and congratulations to our speaker for sharing her valuable insights and experiences with us today. And we also wish to congratulate to the entire team involved for their dedication, commitment and hard work in ensuring the success of this initiative. We also would like to take this opportunity to recognize a significant achievement by the library's Learning Support Section, which has become the first office in IIUM to successfully complete the records disposal exercise in full compliance with the records disposal procedures established by Arkib Negara Malaysia. This accomplishment reflects the library's commitment to good governance, regulatory compliance, and effective record management practices, setting an exemplary benchmark for other officers across the university. Once again, Congratulations to the team and all those involved in this remarkable achievement. May this success continue to inspire excellence and best practices throughout IIUM. We have now reached the conclusion of our program. On behalf of the Dar al-Hikmah Library, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to our esteemed speaker for her precious and insightful sharing. We hope that her insights and experiences will benefit all participants, especially those managing the IIUM records. We also want to thank all participants for your time and participation in today's program. We apologize for any shortcomings or any inconveniences that may have arisen. We look forward to seeing everyone at our future KM programs and wish you all a wonderful day ahead. Let us end our program today with the recitation of Tasbih Kafarah and Surah Al-Asr.